Assalamu alaikum friends. I hope you guys are doing great by Allah's grace. Let me know in the comment section from where you guys are watching this video, and feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section. Let us all know each other and build a strong community. Now let's move on to the story.
They say a woman's life is a series of deadlines. By 20, you should have your degree. By 22, a career. And by 25, the clock starts to scream. In our community, there is an invisible shelf. If you stay on it too long, they start to call you expired. They look at you with pity, as if your life is a book that ended mid-sentence because the hero never showed up. But what if the one who wrote the stars doesn't use a clock? What if the delay in your life isn't a denial, but a divine shield? Today's special story is for all those girls whose heart is heavy with a prayer that hasn't been answered yet. For the girl who feels like the leftover sister. Today's story will remind you that Allah doesn't count time the way people do. He isn't ignoring your tears. He's timing your joy. Watch this until the end. It might just change the way you see your life. This is the story of Liana and the nikah that was written not on paper, but in the heavens, long before she was even born. Liana was the kind of girl you'd miss if you didn't look twice. She wasn't the loudest in the room, nor was she the one chasing the spotlight. She was the one who made sure the tea was always hot, that her father's medicine was organized, and that her younger sister's dresses were pressed to perfection.
Thank you, Liana. This is perfect.
At 28, Liana was the anchor of her home. She was beautiful, but it was a quiet beauty, the kind that lived in the way she lowered her gaze and the softness of her assalamu alaikum. She had a degree in literature, a heart full of poetry, and a soul that belonged to the night prayers. But in the eyes of the neighborhood, Liana was a problem. To the aunties at the mosque, she was a project that had failed.
Still unmarried. Such a shame.
The real pressure started the night of her younger sister Hannah's wedding. Imagine the scene. The room is filled with the smell of expensive jasmine and the sound of bangles clinking. Hannah, who was only 21, looked like a literal queen in her red dress. Liana was there, of course. She spent the whole night running around, fixing Hannah's veil, making sure the guests were fed, handing out sweets. But every time she smiled at someone, they didn't smile back with joy. They smiled with that look. You know the one, that pity smile. She was standing near the buffet when she heard it. Two distant relatives were talking, not even trying to hide their voices.
She's basically a burden on her parents. After 25, a girl's value just drops, doesn't it? It really
Liana
does.
stood frozen. That word, burden, it cut through her like a knife. She looked at her parents. Her father was laughing, but she noticed the way he leaned heavily on his cane. Her mother looked tired, and Liana thought,
Ya Allah, is that all I am? A worry? A mistake in the timeline?
and this is the thing we often forget. Society measures your worth by your marital status, but Allah, He measures your worth by the beauty of your heart when nobody is watching. Liana didn't know it yet, but her value wasn't dropping, it was being preserved. A few weeks after the wedding, a family finally came to see her. Liana's mom was so excited. She spent her last bit of savings to make a feast. Liana dressed up, her heart pounding with a mix of hope and fear. The meeting was hard. The boy's mother didn't ask Liana about her dreams or her degree in literature. She just looked at Liana's face, then at her ID card. She spent the whole time talking about how her son needed someone fresh and young to start a family with. 2 days later, a text came. It wasn't even a phone call. It just said, "We liked Liana, but we think she's a bit too old for our son. We want someone he can grow with." Liana watched her mother's shoulders slump as she read the message. Her mom started crying, and that hurt more than the rejection itself. Liana went to her room, locked the door, and just fell onto her prayer mat.
I've tried to be a good daughter. I've tried to be patient. But why is every door closing?
She stayed in sujood for hours, and this is a lesson I want you to hold on to. Sometimes Allah allows you to be rejected by people so you can realize that you only ever needed Him. He's moving the wrong people out of the way to make room for something you can't even imagine yet. The winter that year was freezing. One night around 3 a.m., Liana woke up. There was no noise, just a strange feeling in her chest. She got up to get some water and saw the light on in her parents' room. She pushed the door open and saw her father on the floor. He was clutching his chest, his face pale, gasping for air. Her mother was standing over him, completely frozen in terror, unable to even pick up the phone. Liana didn't panic. In that moment, a strange strength took over her. She called the ambulance. She started performing CPR, the thing she had learned years ago just by chance.
Baba, stay with me. Wake up, Baba.
In the ambulance, the doctor told her, if you hadn't been awake, if you hadn't been right there in that room, your father wouldn't have made it through the night. Liana sat in the hospital hallway as the sun began to rise. Her clothes were wrinkled, her face was a mess, and her heart was racing. But for the first time in years, she felt a massive wave of peace. She realized something. If she had been married a year ago, she would have been in a different house. She would have been miles away. Her mother wouldn't have heard him fall. Her father would have been gone. Suddenly, her delay didn't look like a failure anymore. It looked like a miracle. You see, we think Allah is being slow, but Allah is being precise. Your waiting period might be the very thing that saves you, your family, or your near and dear ones. Your empty hands are often the ones Allah uses to perform the biggest miracles. Liana's father stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks, and every day Liana was there. She didn't leave his side. The head cardiologist was a man named Zain. He was 32, a quiet man who worked with a kind of focus that was rare. He noticed Liana, not because she was wearing fancy clothes, but because she was wearing a simple abaya with a tired and relieved smile. He noticed her because of the way she treated the nurses. He noticed her because every time he walked in, she was reading Quran to her father.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
One morning, as he checked her father's vitals, he said to her, "You have a lot of sabr, Liana. I see a lot of families come through here, but the way you carry yourself, it's different." Liana just smiled softly. "Life has taught me that worrying doesn't change what's written, doctor. Only Allah can do that." Zain didn't say anything, but he went home and told his mother about the girl in room 402.
Ammi, she didn't just talk about faith, but live with it.
He didn't care that she was 28. To him, her maturity was her greatest beauty. A month later, Zain's family didn't come to Liana's house to judge her. They came to honor her. When Zain's mother met Liana, she didn't look at her age. She looked at the way Liana's father looked at his daughter, with eyes full of life and gratitude. "We are looking for a queen for our home," Zain's mother said, "and my son says he found her in a hospital hallway." Liana's nikah wasn't the loud, flashy event like Hana's was. It was quiet, filled with a kind of peace that only comes after a long storm.
Qubul hai?
Qubul hai.
As Liana signed those marriage nikah-nama, she looked at her father, who was standing right there, healthy and smiling. She looked at Zain, a man who valued her for her soul. She realized then Allah hadn't forgotten her. He was just holding the pen. He was waiting for her to save her father. He was waiting for Zain to be ready. He was waiting to give her a story that would make every tear she ever shed feel worth it. So, to all those girls out there who are watching this, if you're crying tonight because another proposal didn't work out, or because you feel old compared to your friends, or because you don't feel valued for being yourself, please stop looking at the clock. You are not a burden, my sister. You are not behind. You are exactly where the King of the universe wants you to be right now. He isn't ignoring your prayers. He's timing your joy. The pen hasn't run out of ink. Your miracle is being written slowly so that when it finally arrives, it will be better than anything you ever dared to ask for. Trust that wait. Trust the author. If this story helped you breathe a little easier today, share it with a sister who needs it. Let's remind each other that Allah's timing is always perfect. Don't forget to subscribe for more such stories of faith, and please feel free to share your stories in the comment section. Let us all know each other. Until then, stay healthy, stay blessed. Allah Hafiz.